It's an incredible story. Tells two middle-aged Chinese brothers who have a very close relationship. They traveled to Malaysia, but without knowing it, each with a pair of young Malaysian sisters, had a relationship, thus creating two truly unexpected families. Li Jiancheng and Li Jianguo are not just brothers. They are simply inseparable. They are only 2 years apart. Grow up together. Friendship goes beyond brotherhood. After the death of a parent, they rely on each other. Never married. Always in their close brotherhood. Protect each other. One day, Li built a trading company. Started exporting electronic components. Make a decent profit. Meanwhile, Li Jianguo's interior design company is also thriving. Their field may seem very different at first, but construction sites and factories, the infrastructure required for the campus, the skills and materials of both brothers are often required. This has led to overseas customers using theirs at the same time. Two companies. If the opportunity presents itself, Li Jiancheng will recommend the project to Li Jianguo. Vice versa. This creates strong synergies. They have complete trust in each other. So much so that people will joke. Are you sure you're not married? You're like a couple. But neither brother is against marriage. Nor is there a particular desire for marriage. They are content to live together. Immerse yourself in a busy life. Each other is family. They seem to gather family, partner and best friend all in one. And then one day, Li Jiancheng announced that he planned to visit Malaysia, find new business opportunities. Hey, statehood. He said he wanted to go to Malaysia with me. Our buyers are expanding. And there are a lot of hot words in Southeast Asia. Title. I think we can combine business travel and sightseeing. Li Jianguo did not hesitate. Sounds good. Even if we are busy. It also takes a break. Look at the world. Learn something new. And I have heard that Malaysia's economy is booming. The brothers prepared together. Before boarding a flight to Malaysia, carefully handled their existing work. They toured several cities in Malaysia. Take in the beautiful scenery. Find potential business partners. Their primary goal is, look, whether it is possible to expand the existing trade routes in Southeast Asia. Second, they want to be sure. Potential exports from Malaysia to China. After a long period of information gathering and an understanding of the local atmosphere, they decided to relax in a cafe. That's when something unexpected happened. Wait, what about my phone? Li Jianguo asked after returning from the bathroom. He put his phone on the table, but now it's gone. Li Jiancheng shouted in surprise. Mine is gone. Both phones disappeared from the table. The staff at the cafe were unable to provide any clues. The brothers were at a loss. Start looking around. At this moment, two men walked into them. Mix gestures and speak in English and Malay. Offer to help. Li Jiancheng and Li Jianguo exchanged glances, wondering about this in this case. Whether or not someone is really going to offer to help. However, there are no cell phones. It is difficult to contact the police or anyone else. Eventually, the brothers decided to follow the two. Go where they suggest. They never expected it. This decision will cause an uproar. They naively think. Those two really wanted to help them. This is because the brothers are naturally trusting of others. And kind-hearted. Although they know some English. But with the accent of the time. Communicate with a mix of everyday conversations. It proved to be challenging. After some effort and gestures, they finally followed the two. Came to the second floor of a seemingly upscale building. Upon entering, they saw well-dressed women. The brothers didn't know what was going on. Stand there awkwardly. Then, a man who looked like a boss rushed over. Some questions were asked. Then instructed his staff. It looks like they're waiting for a male client. He motioned for the brothers to sit down. Initially, the brothers were just curious about the situation. They tried to explain with gestures. They need to find their phones. However, the people there strangely raised. Buy them a new phone, and showed them a document. It looks like a marriage affair. Consent form for matching. Only then did the brothers realize. Don't. This is an international marriage agency that we have only heard of. They know it from the news and word of mouth. These institutions exist in Malaysia and other countries. The line between legal and illegal is often blurred. Even those well-dressed women. It also looks a little uncomfortable. Suddenly, they heard crying coming from the room inside. A woman's voice. A feeling of unease welled up in my mind. The brothers exchanged glances. The owner of the intermediary. He then reprimanded two women who were crying. "Don't do that," he said. "If you are here to meet your Chinese husband, you need to show some basic courtesy." The women continued to cry. One of them said in Mandarin, "What are we going to do?" The brothers' eyes widened. "Wait, you guys speak Mandarin?" Li Jianguo asked cautiously. One of the women, Lily, nodded. "Answer a little. I used to study in school. A little Chinese." The women introduced themselves as sisters. Sister Lily and Sister Mimi. They explained. They came here due to a difficult family situation. Before coming to the intermediary, they heard, if the sisters are in an international marriage at the same time, we'll bring in a large sum of money to support their parents. So they chose this path with tears in their eyes. However, the owner and the intermediary took most of the money. And these women are being underwritten. Lily and Mimi cry in despair that they want to escape. But their passports were taken by intermediaries. They had to confide in the stranger brothers. Because they were received the threat of being forced to pair with an older Chinese man. And was told to be patient. When the brothers heard this, they were furious. They couldn't help but exclaim, "These people are so hateful." Li Jianqing and Li Jianguo are both kind-hearted. It is impossible to ignore those who need help. They were especially for the young sisters, subjected to this wave cut, and feel sad. The owner of the agency is not aware of their feelings. It continues to mix English and Malay, urging the brothers to sign the papers. Promised to introduce them to excellent wives. However, Li Jianqing and Li Jianguo communicated with gestures, worked out a saving sister, and quickly leave the plan there. They pretend to review documents as if nothing happened. Procrastination. It's as if they're going to sign. Meanwhile, they secretly made a suggestion to the sisters. "Let's get out of here." The sisters looked at the brothers in shock. "Are you sure? But we don't have passports." Li Jiancheng replied firmly. "We'll find a way." When the boss insists on signing, the brothers agreed, but said they lost their phones. Need help buying a new phone. From the boss's point of view, he thinks of these rich Chinese men misunderstand the situation, but he has a chance to make a deal. So he readily agreed. He allowed the brothers and sisters to walk to the counter temporarily. Think it's a promising deal. During that time, naturally, the brothers entered the office area. Luckily, they found the passport stored in a locker. Be aware of what they found. They quickly retrieved the sisters' passports and went through the illegal documents used by the intermediaries and transaction history. They want to secretly take pictures with their smartphones. But unfortunately, both of their phones were gone. However, saving the sisters was the imperative of that moment. Brothers and sisters managed to slip out of the so-called bridal waiting room, unnoticed by the owner and the agent. Luckily, there was a back door in that building. They managed to escape. However, escape is not the end. Unfortunately, some intermediaries became suspicious of the brothers and chased after them. After running wildly in several alleys, they managed to get rid of them. The brothers were confused by the chase during the day. The sisters were also frightened. After escaping, the four of them hid on the terrace of a humble restaurant, took a moment to talk. "Here's how it happened," Li Jianqing asked. "We are in dire need of money," Lily replied. "Our parents were sick. We need medical bills." Hear the story of the sisters. The brothers were more sympathetic. Since starting from scratch, they understand the desperation of needing money. At this point, The four began to trust each other more. The brothers did not have cell phones. The sisters have just retrieved their passports, and they are still in an unsafe situation without money and security. Luckily, Li Jianqing, when retrieving his passport, tried to sneak up in a desk drawer. The two brothers' mobile phones were found. Whether the intermediary steals from behind, it is still handed over to the mobile phone of the intermediary boss. It's a great relief to get back what you've lost. I found my phone, Li Jiancheng exclaimed. Thank God, Li Jianguo said with a sigh of relief. At the same time turned on his phone. Immediately a roaming signal appeared, and WeChat and email notifications. They initially trying to find the embassy or the contact details of the tourist police, but the sisters advised against it because they are worried that they may be related to intermediaries. There are a lot of corrupt police officers in this district, Lily explained. The brothers nodded in agreement. It's safer to act quietly now. They hid for several days in various parts of the city. The brothers asked the sisters if they were thinking about going home. But the sisters were worried what a marriage agent might do to their family. Because they have already handed over their identity cards, they reluctantly decided it's safer to stay with the brothers. Meanwhile, the brothers decided to go through other means to eradicate this unscrupulous marriage broker. Thankfully, they contacted colleagues and acquaintances back home to gather evidence, find a translator, and get in touch with the lawyer at the time. They were able to get some legal advice. With the help of the sisters, they compiled the operations of intermediaries, summary of the list of corruption and women, and informed a more trustworthy one, non-governmental organizations, and not the police. A few days later, the owner of the intermediary and the intermediary arrested during a local crackdown. The sisters and brothers were illegally matched. Testimonies were provided. However, many other corrupt organizations are still linked to intermediaries. Some of the intermediaries were released on bail, and the brothers are being hunted down. In such a difficult situation, the sisters felt more and more indebted to their brothers. Why are you helping us so much? Lily asked. Li Jianguo replied honestly. Now our brothers see it. We cannot sit idly by. The brothers also added. The age gap is significant. So don't get me wrong. We're not going to do anything to take advantage of you. They realize that feelings may arise, but they tried to be careful. Don't hurt the sisters. From that moment on, the brothers and sisters began to work together. Enjoy a real holiday, despite the disturbing events. But the brothers toured anyway. Tourist attractions in Malaysia, traditional markets, restaurants and cafes. Memories were created with the sisters. Lily and Minnie revel in the feeling of vacationing overseas with Chinese brothers. It's like the Chinese TV series they've watched in the past. They went to beautiful beaches, shared each other's life stories. At night, they asked each other questions in a mix of English and Chinese. Why are you two married yet? Lily asked. Li Jianjing replied, yes. We're busy with our own business. And we think we don't necessarily need to be bound by marriage. We have each other as family and friends. So we're not alone. The sisters found this way of thinking interesting. Marriage and family. It is a very important value in Malaysia, but the brothers have a more relaxed way of thinking. However, the warmth and sense of responsibility shown by the brothers, completely different from the male figure known to the sisters. Maybe it's because their cultures are different. To make each other's attraction more obvious. Over time, Lily and Mimi become more and more dependent on the brothers. The brothers also realized that the sisters were naive, pure and considerate people. When they spend time together, feelings of attraction naturally begin to sprout. However, the brothers are in their 50s for them, and the fact that the sisters are only in their 20s. It's really distressing. I feel that the age gap is too big. They are also worried. The sisters may have relied on them because of their circumstances, but the sisters saw through their fears. Someday, When they sit in a quiet cafe, Lily said, "We went through such a difficult experience when we were young. But we want to make our own choice now. We want someone who genuinely respects us." Mimi nodded. That's right. We're adults. It is up to us to decide what we like and what we want to live for." The brothers were surprised by these words, but they are still hesitant, wondering if they're considering getting married too late. In addition, they are worried what the sisters' parents would think of them. Lily replied with a smile. "Our parents are more concerned. Do we meet a person who respects us? People who can make us happy, and not who we meet. Most importantly, if we are out of true love, rather than being sold by an intermediary and making a decision, they will be delighted." However, even love is budding. The brothers and sisters also faced another challenge: corruption linked to unscrupulous marriage brokers. The police showed up. They present absurd illegalities against the group, accusations and demands for money. The brothers panicked for a moment, but the sisters spoke in the language of the moment. Threats from the police were refuted. They bluffed, claimed that they have links to an NGO, and the evidence has already been handed over. The police then flinched, muttered. After going through that, the brothers recognize how brave and intelligent the sisters were. The sisters also felt it more deeply, the sincerity and reliability of the brothers. In this series of events where fates are intertwined, the relationship between the four goes beyond sympathy or charity. Be the other, the source of this power. And then one day, Li Jianguo cautiously confessed to Lily. Li Jiancheng confessed to Mimi. They have fallen in love with each other. At first, the sisters and brothers were also surprised. But deep down, they already know how they feel. They cried and laughed together. Difficult circumstances were overcome, and learned about each other's deep humanity. The sisters felt gratitude, affection, and respect at the same time. The brothers also felt the protective instinct and the warmth of the heart. Because of the large age gap, "I felt a little guilty," Li Jiancheng confessed frankly to Mimi. Mimi replied with a smile. "How do you feel?" "At first, I was as worried as my sister. I doubt we're being taken advantage of. Or will they be because of the age gap and strange looks at us? But over time, I felt more taken care of. And, for the first time in my life, feel so comfortable and safe. Isn't that enough?" The brothers and sisters confessed their feelings and decided to become a couple. Of course, official documents and marriage procedures remain. Both sisters and brothers want to get married, if possible. But the formalities of an international marriage are complicated. A lot of paperwork is required. There are many things. It needs to be confirmed between Malaysia and China. The four will gradually resolve the matter. The brothers also visited the sisters' rural hometown, introduced themselves to their parents. Their parents are not in good health, but they were known for the sincerity and seriousness of the brothers, and feel relieved. Of course, they will also ask some questions. For example, "Do you really want to marry our daughter? Can they live well in China? Will you treat them unfairly?" The brothers answered all the questions. "We have a lot of shortcomings, but we will try our best to live happily together." Brothers, both also through relatives and acquaintances living in China. For the family of the Malaysian sisters, some financial aid was provided. They try to help in the practical aspect. For example, trying to be the parents of the sisters, provide medical support and work. Contact. They are suffering from poverty and disease. However, the motivation for this support is help those who will be their family, and not charity. The sisters expressed their gratitude for this, and said they hope to one day have the opportunity to repay the brothers. Once the itinerary for Malaysia is almost arranged, the brothers and sisters temporarily return to China. They have to check their business and prepare for international marriages. Will be their trading company and interior design company, linked to Malaysia. The possibilities are growing, and they were able to access the local information that the sisters had, and further development of networking. From now on, we will also use our strengths to help, Lily and Mimi said. They came up with new marketing methods. For example, they can be in Malaysia, find popular Chinese interior items and fashion items, then export again. In this way, brothers and sisters even began to cooperate in the public sphere. It's not just romantic feelings. It's a sharing of their actual lives and futures, and the process of becoming a real family. Over time, they gradually got used to each other's way of life. The sisters experienced life in China for the first time. It was interesting to find everything and try to adapt. They are also registered with the Chinese language studies. Study harder. The brothers brought them Chinese textbooks and memorized words together. As the calm days continued, Lily and Mimi began to feel something was wrong with their bodies. Suspicion out. What's up? They went to the hospital. There, they were all diagnosed as pregnant. The sisters were momentarily surprised, but soon tears of excitement flowed. On the same day, in the same hospital, both sisters conceived the child of the same brother at the same time. It seems that this can only happen in TV dramas. After the brothers heard the news, speechless with joy, they see no reason to postpone, even if the official documents of their marriage have not yet been completed. Others may see an age gap and blame them for the reason for their marriage. But when the brothers thought about the future of these children, one can only feel grateful. Let's get married. Let's formally, wholeheartedly, quickly become a real couple. Li Jiancheng proposes to Mimi. Li Jianguo, in turn, proposed to Lily. The sisters have made up their minds. In this way, the four finally began to prepare for marriage. Of course, the marriage process is more complicated than expected. They must be prepared to come from Malaysia, and documents from China, and taking into account the pregnancy of the sisters, they must complete the formalities as soon as possible. The brothers also sought the help of a lawyer and an administrative clerk to properly understand the laws and regulations of each country. When preparing for the wedding, the four of them chatted late into the night. Excited discussion of where the ceremony will be held. They decided to hold the ceremony in China first, and then in Malaysia, with their parents and relatives. Throw a small party. Eventually, time passes. In a wedding hall somewhere in Beijing, a small but intimate wedding ceremony was held. Relatives and acquaintances attended. The parents of the sisters. I also came to China with great difficulty. Everyone exclaimed. It's like a wedding in a TV series. The sisters wore beautiful cheongsam, and the brothers were dressed in neat suits. Look at each other. Guests see. Two couples were married at the same time. They all smiled with satisfaction, especially acquaintances of the brothers. Applaud and say they are not married. The brothers achieved such beautiful results. After the wedding, they returned to Malaysia. Another celebration was held. A party was held in the sisters' hometown. People from all over the village gathered, shared traditional food, and blessed them. The brothers also wore formal attire to match the Malaysian culture. The parents of the sisters accepted their two sons-in-law and brightened up the celebratory home. In this way, brothers and sisters became a complete family. It is recognized as a family in both China and Malaysia. And since they are 7 to 8 months pregnant, the sisters' bellies grew bigger and bigger. The brothers were busy with work, but they try to find their time as much as they can. Prepare for childbirth with the sisters. There's a lot to know. For example, nutritional supplements, obstetrics and gynecology examination, prenatal education, and parenting information. The brothers are choosing baby products, baby name and room decoration when decorating, laugh and chat together. The brothers really felt. They are fathers in their 50s, but they felt even greater love and excitement. At first, the people around were interested in the two couples. It's a bit of a strange look, but over time, they are beginning to realize how caring and genuinely they love each other, and begin to recognize them. Most importantly, The age gap between parents. In a world where two babies are about to be born, it's not that important. The brothers decided that they would work harder, be a better parent, to make up for their tardiness as parents. The sisters said eagerly, "We will also strive to put down roots in China and try to live while taking care of your parents." That's it. In the mid-50s, brothers and Malaysian sisters in their 20s met. Love, and through many events a family was formed. There are various barriers such as age, nationality, and cultural differences. But it's possible, because they trust and help each other at critical moments, and try to communicate with each other. At first, it was a twisted relationship, just like rescuers and victims. But over time, they became equal partners. Right now, they are truly together planning their future family. Be a loving couple and business partner. The truth this story tells us is simple. True solidarity and love between people. It can come at an unexpected moment and revolutionize our lives. There is an age difference. There are many barriers such as national borders, language, and culture. But in the end, the fundamental force that connects people's hearts, it is mutual respect and sincerity. As the hero of this story himself demonstrated. Another lesson is, injustice and corruption still exist in this world. People who are powerless and in distress. It is often subject to corrugation. That's why someone has to rebel against him. Someone has to be brave. Someone has to extend a warm hand. And they went through this time together. The most powerful weapon is not money or power. It's courage, unity, and love. Finally, what is the message of this story? It is true happiness in life, and how to embrace and take responsibility for each other. Very important. Middle-aged brother in his 10s. New love and family can be launched. Malaysian sister in her 20s. Sometimes it is possible to get rid of pain. Challenge yourself towards a better life. The love between these two people. It's like fate. The encounter breaks the so-called normal framework. Rather, in an imperfect situation, and countless crises, become stronger. The two couples are now expanding their business, raising their children. At the same time, I went back and forth between China and Malaysia. Build a happy family. Someday, when children grow up and ask about their parents' love stories, they will answer in a shy but proud voice. Long ago, when we don't know each other, your two dads and two moms happened to meet in Malaysia, but he became fate. These adorable children were born. Maybe this is a decision that seems reckless to some. However, they held hands unwaveringly. Take them to a miraculous encounter. It turned into the best gift of their lives. They were on that journey, demonstrated warmth of heart and dedication. Once again, it proves that love ultimately triumphs over everything. This ancient truth. This is the brother in his 50s and sisters in their 20s. The story of a beautiful international marriage. Over the years, two families in China and Malaysia become more intimate. After the wedding, the two couples became a family and begin to get to know each other's lives in depth. Love each other unreservedly. Li Jiancheng and Li Jianguo brothers. Now she is the parent and life partner of two sisters. They became the backbone of the family, pointing the way for a new generation. Their families transcend cultural and age differences, and united by a common goal. It was a happy life. They take care of and love each other, and go down together. On a sunny spring morning, a quiet neighborhood in Beijing, in front of an apartment building where families gather. The yard has large pots and a sincere little garden. Brothers, sisters, and children gathered, full of laughter and pleasant conversations. The scene is like a painting. Li Jiancheng and Li Jian. A well-prepared breakfast table is set up, frame with children's photos, and handwritten letters containing family memories, and hung a banner that said, "I love our home." This little morning party, it's a look back at the hard road they've been through. And thank you for the warmth and bliss of the moment. We used to. I really haven't regretted anything like this, Li Jiangguo said. Opposite. I think we were able to help each other. Step by step. Yes, that's right. Because we rely on each other. Give each other strength. Now is the time. The laughter of the children as they watched each other. Smiled. Long-term accumulated brotherhood and family love. Intact. Over time. This family. Start traveling together every weekend and holiday. The first trip was to Hainan Island, a coastal city in southern China. Brothers and sisters. There are even young people who have just taken their first steps in life. The children all boarded a boat. Admire the blue sea of Hainan Island and dazzling coastlines. Breathe in the fresh air of Hainan Island. The family gathers on a quiet beach. By the campfire, Li Jiancheng was lying on the beach. Say to Sha Bao with the children. We're all in this together. I am very happy. Li Jianguo tasted the traditional food of Hainan Island. Laughter erupted. That night, the family sits under the stars, talking about their dreams and their future. It reaffirmed the love in their hearts. Countless memories left during the trip. All of them are recorded in the family album one by one. The happiness reflected in each other's faces, still even as time passes. A fond memory that will not be forgotten either. In Malaysia, the family visited an old traditional village. From the ancestors, I learned the wisdom and values of life. In the country, they experienced the changing of the seasons by experiencing it. Harmony between nature and man, and I felt grateful. Over time, a new miracle of life, one after the other, came to these two families. After the birth of the first child, both families became more active. Children grow up in love and wisdom. From their parents, grandparents, and various other relatives studied there. The siblings personally showed it to the children. Love can conquer everything, and will always cherish and take care of each other's values. Indoctrinate in them. One day on a lazy summer afternoon. Enjoy a quiet one. Family picnic in the park. Li Jiancheng and Li Jianguo brothers look each other in the eye, reminiscing about the past. When we met in Malaysia. It's something I can't believe, Li Jiancheng said. But now it seems. All the difficulties make us so strong. That's right. Memories of risking their lives to help each other. It brings our whole family together. Li Jianguo replied. I want our children to know this sincerity as well. The children just listened in amazement to the stories of the brothers and sisters. In their eyes, full of expectations and hopes for the future. The whole family held hands tightly. Shared. It seems that a confession of life promised without regrets. We have never regretted choosing this path. Our family will always be together. They all said. Unconsciously. The seasons change. The autumn of the harvest has arrived. Even in their busy lives, families also always make time to see each other. Albeit, they all face challenges in their respective careers and lives. But these two families, true happiness is found in it. One day, a large family gathering was held. All those gathered in one place shared our worries, achievements, and pains, and had a sincere conversation. When we are alive, sometimes we get into trouble and pain. But in the end, all of that makes us strong. Li Jianguo said. Yes, I don't know at this moment. Being able to laugh and cry with my family. What a blessing, Li Jiancheng added. That night, siblings and children sit around a large table, sharing well-prepared dishes, and share their life stories. In each other's eyes, there is gratitude and joy for this moment, and not regret or disappointment. In conversation, the brothers and sisters say the path is the right one. All the moments we choose, all have created today's happiness. Everyone nodded, and thank each other again for their presence. After that, the family regularly participates in various cultural events, and when the festival, and enjoy an experience that brings tradition and modernity together. Over time, the memories they created together grew deeper and deeper. As the kids grow, they come naturally, inherited their family history, and realized its preciousness. At every holiday party, will be spoken. Every member of our family is precious. This sentence. They genuinely care about each other's well-being and health. And sharing warm hugs. These two families. He has now been reborn as a true life partner. Beyond simple kinship, people from different countries meet. A new family was formed and plan for the future together. This inspires many people. Someday, the family planned a volunteer activity. They all participated. They visited a small village in Malaysia, and a volunteer project was launched. Warm meals for children and adults, and pass on love to neglected neighbors. We must reciprocate our moral love. That's right. Let's share it with others. The happiness enjoyed by our family. That day, in the midst of volunteering, a family crying and laughing together, hold hands tightly, and swear by our lives. It is a precious gift in every moment. No regrets. Let's continue to support each other. Let's go down together. Children listen to their parents, dreaming of the future. Pass on the love they have received to others. In this way, this family genuinely cheers for each other. They never let go of each other even in difficult situations. In a few years there were more prosperous days. Sometimes, challenges and trials will come into the lives of each of them. But they always laughed and encouraged each other together. The sight is like a moving drama. Every year at a family gathering, the elders will be honest. Choosing this path is the best choice of our lives. The younger generation was deeply moved by their stories and made a resolution for their future lives. Our family will always be a best effort for each other's families. We will never regret choosing this path. Everyone shouted in unison for happiness. I love our family. Over time, these two families, now for a family that transcends generations, make history. The first children grew up and started their own small family. The birth of a new life became another seed of hope and energizes the whole family. At a large family gathering, everyone gathers together, reminiscing about the memories of living together since childhood. The siblings talk about the challenges of their youth, moments of trial and overcoming. Every time, the warm brother was confirmed in each other's eyes. Brotherhood and trust. We are very happy today because we're all in this together. No matter what difficulties arise in the future, none of our families will change. Brothers and sisters said. Every fall, this big family will all be in the vast fields of their homeland. Enjoy a massive picnic. Spread out a blanket on the wide lawn, sharing the food and drinks prepared by each family. The laughter of children and the heartwarming conversation of adults harmoniously blended together. Family members cheer for each other's lives. Sometimes the pain of the past is forgotten, talking about their dreams for the future. That night, in warm light, an old man shouted quietly, "Our lives. It is a precious gift in every moment. There is no room for regrets." Everyone nodded in agreement and held each other's hands tightly. In addition, the extended family also enjoyed overseas travel. They traveled to Malaysia together, various countries such as Japan and Europe, and take the time to learn about the culture and history of each district, and communicate with new people. Countless episodes encountered during the journey make each other have a view of life and values, be more determined, and once again awakened how precious the family is, and how important mutual trust is. After returning from the trip, the family members gathered at home looked at each other's smiles, say that all these experiences prove it. We have chosen the right path. We were able to do so much for each other. This is a great blessing for all of us. Over time, now everyone has become a mature adult and start dreaming at the same time. New dreams. Brothers and sisters sit together, had a sincere conversation about the future. We have never regretted the time we lived. We have confirmed each other. That's right. All this suffering, all the trials and all the joys, all led us to where we are today. Whatever happens in the future, we're all going to be in this together. In this way, the two families are in their respective posts. Prepare for new challenges. On the other hand, they were born again. Their constant family love and brotherhood. Young children listen to their parents. Old stories told to grandparents. And accepted such a belief. Namely, no matter what difficulties they face in their future lives, they will all help each other and live together. Our family keeps us in love. Step by step. Let's feel the here and now again. How blessed we are together. They all spoke with hopeful steps towards a new tomorrow. There are countless relationships in the world, but there are few people like our family. Passionate love and trust for each other. Siblings and their children experience the twists and turns of magic. This happiness is created. One day, at a family gathering, such questions were raised to each other. Have you ever regretted it? Survived so far. Each time, everyone smiled and replied with no regrets. It's just us. Every moment together is precious, and confirmed the sincerity that shines in each other's eyes. In this way, even if time passes, all members are united by unchanging faith and love. Hug each other. Everyone has a different path in life. Sometimes there are difficult moments, but all of them, eventually, they all gathered in a fence called the family. True happiness is created. Our family is happy in this moment. It will be happy in the future, because we were born to be together. Along with these words, everyone's heart is one. And this voice has become a generation to come. The song of the eternal family. Over time, the love of the family becomes deeper. Every year at the party, all have the opportunity to reaffirm each other's warm memories. Memories and dreams for the future. The children grew up, pursuing their own dreams. And the parents, always they are at any time of need. A reliable pillar that can be relied upon. Together, they celebrate each other's successes. Do not let go of each other's hands even in difficult times. This sight became a true example of everyone's life. Now, siblings and all their children shouted in unison. We have no regrets about the path we have chosen. The path we've traveled. At this moment, our family is the most precious gift. Their voices shook the earth, ringing through the sky. Let the whole world know how deep their love and brotherhood is. Unconsciously, day after day passed. Another spring has arrived. So these two families. Once again, there was a grand family gathering. Looking back, talk about their dreams for the future. At that party, the brothers and sisters said in unison, all the moments of choice in our lives are destined to be so beautiful. Happiness today, the joy of tomorrow. Everything is possible because we are together. Everyone smiled warmly at each other. Children dream of hope for the future as they watch. In this way, the two families were reborn in their relationship with each other. The value of life without regrets. And vowed to protect each other forever in the future. I love our family. This single shout, deeply inscribed in the hearts of all generations of family members. Now they are ready to travel together in the future, create more memories, and welcome a new generation in each other's suffering. The song of happiness and life. Compromise embraces each other with unwavering family love. Step by step, they move into the future. Everyone swore in unison. We will never regret choosing this path. At this moment, our family is the greatest happiness. Therefore, the two families are always in each other's warm arms, singing of hope, and together forever. May all the days ahead be filled with love and happiness. Just like now. Thank you for watching today. If you liked this video, please subscribe and like.